Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about how to create a server for Discord if you're a writing facilitator. So if you've got a writing community and you want to create a server for them, this is the video for you. So the first step is to decide how you want to work. I work in the following way. I take an iPad or whatever I'm going to use as my primary place for working with this particular program, and I load that app onto my iPad. And then I sign up, and I also open it in a browser so that I can see what it looks like in a browser. I can see what it looks like on the iPad. Now, Discord makes it hard to see it on a browser once you've downloaded the app, so I'll send the login information in the description below. I then open the same app on my phone, but this time I open it with a new account that I create, so I have two accounts. And in that one, I do the same moves. I've downloaded the app, I've signed in, I open a browser. On my iPad, I open one browser. On my phone, I open another. So on my iPad for this one, I'm working with Chrome. For my phone, I'm working with Firefox. So those two seem to be more vibrant to me than Safari for Discord, but that's up to the user's pleasure. So what I'm trying to do when I make this decision about how I'm going to work is think about the people I'm encountering. So I work with groups of people for 16 weeks at a time, and I want them to all do well. They will have memory problems on their phones or their iPads or their tablets or their laptops. So sometimes if they have too little memory in those devices, I'll suggest they work on a browser. And that affords us the possibility of them still contributing without feeling like they have to take up app space, memory space with an app. So that's one of the reasons why I do this. The other is sometimes I can do some things in the app that I can't do in the browser and vice versa, and I want to know that. So I set all that up. You don't have to. You could just open the app in your favorite device and get going, right? So the second step, once I've decided on my workspace, is to set up a server. So I want to think about how I want to invite people in, what kind of organization I want, and because I come from the world of discussion boards, that sort of shapes how I think about this, which is to think in an outline of what kinds of conversations I want to have and why and where. So my goal is to get this to be a place that's really vibrant, where people can share ideas, they can ask questions, they can have fun with each other, they can build community so that when we talk about their writing, there's a sense of people who respect one another. And so how I set that up starts with the first moves into the Discord server. So I want an organization that says, okay, welcome, here are the rules of play, but also tell us about yourselves. I want to have a place where they can just play, and so I have space for memes or for pictures of dogs. And really, I just want to show pictures of my pup, but I'm okay with cats too. I mean, I don't care. You can give me the emu. So yeah, Emmanuel the emu. So I'm looking at these sorts of frameworks, like how do I set this up so that they can play, how they have community, enjoy one another, get to know one another in terms of likes and dislikes. So we might have a movie section there. Then we might have a playlist section there, because I always have people in writing communities who have playlists that they believe in very strongly. And so I love to have them have a place to share that information. And then I want to get to the work. So I'll have a third section, and then in that section I'll start to introduce ideas that we're working with, places for people to ask questions, places for people to pop in research, and I can pop in research as well. And then we'll have a space that's for synchronous conversation, so that if someone wants to have a conversation about something, we don't have to jump over to Zoom. We can just do a voice chat here, or we can do video here. So all of those things are in place in Discord, and it helps me shape community. So that's why I'm going to use it. Once I have that sort of in my mind of how I'm going to organize it, then I'm going to jump on the screen and enact it. So let's jump to the screen and see how this works. Okay, the first time you come into Discord, it makes some sense to kind of get a sense of what you're seeing in a new space. Just notice that there are 3 columns, that at the top left there's an icon for people, and you can friend people through that icon. And there's different sorts of framings up at the top where you can say plus and find different people there. So on the left you'll see that I have my servers. If I click on one of those, then everything on the right shows up from there. So it's a tab system. So let's get started. When you first drop in, you're very likely to only have the member icon showing, and then the green plus sign, and then the green network sign. Again, if you click on the green network sign, it gives you an opportunity to find groups. So we're going to start by just creating a server. this is a simple plus, and it creates a group, a project, and a place for you to work on your own or with other people. So you'll see here if I just click plus, you can create a server and they can set you up, and what they do is give you some stock kinds of titles for categories and channels. Not much of a start, but it gives you an idea of what's possible. So if you don't like that kind of thing, you can create your own. I'm going to jump down to study group because that's the closest to what we're working with in my writing community, and so I'll click on this study group. And then it'll ask me, do I want this for me and my friends or for a club or community? And I'm going to go ahead with the club and community. When you land on this page, it will likely just have your username, and so you change it out with something easy for right now. I'm going to say example. I can upload an image at this point, but I'm just going to let them populate that icon with E, and that's what they do. They take the first letter of the group name. So create group server. And this is a sort of interaction to get you to invite people, and I'm going to skip that until later. So up in the top right hand corner was a skip button. Now I have my server set up. So if you start in and you just do the plus green sign and you fill out that simple information, they populate a thing for you. And for this portion of the video, I'm trying to make sure you understand how to use categories and channels, how to name them, how to rename them, how to add some. And so to get that started, we'll jump up into example at the top, the name of the group, and over to the three dots, or you might have a caret here, and click on those three dots. And when you do, you can see that it says, oh, do you want to create a channel or a category, an event, or do you want to do other things? Go to the settings. For right now, we're just going to create one more category, or I am. I'm going to call this writing projects, and I'm going to hit create. Now you'll see down at the bottom I have a new category, writing projects. It's not where I want it to be, but that's okay for right now. Up at the top I have information. I can't add categories here, but I can add channels. So if I click on the plus sign next to information, I can say, I want one here that's going to be called Start Here. I have to go over to the right and hit create, and you see that it drops to the bottom of that area. I think that's all I want here. I want to go ahead and edit this section. So up at the top in the three dots, if I want to change the order or reword channels that exist, I click on the three dots, and instead of create over here, I go up to settings to that cog and click on it. Now I'm in all of the settings, and actually this is a fun place to just be a person who meanders. You can see I can add my image for the icon up here if I'd like at any point, but I'm going to come down to where it says channels. I would have called this categories and channels, but they didn't ask me, so here I am. So up at the top I have the option of reordering, and I want to start by doing that. So I'm going to hit reorder, and I want to reorder categories because I want to take that writing projects and pull it up to the top. So mine is on a touch screen, and I actually have to touch the screen to do this, and I think I'm going to actually drag it down one. When I have that organized the way I want, I'm going to say done. For each of these titles, I can change them. So writing project is the only one I like, right? So I'm going to go over to edit and change each of these categories. So you can see that I've come in and changed it to welcome, to interests, and to hangout rooms. So now I want to add in a bit on my writing projects, and I want to change out these interests. So where it says general, I'm going to change that to so I can do this with each of these. So I've come in and changed each of these by just clicking on it and then changing the title. I can go into writing projects and communicate more about that, but I'm not going to right now. Everything's reordered the way I want it. The categories are the way I want them. The channels are the way I want them. We're good to go. And mostly the secret is to go up to the three dots, jump over the settings and cogs, and you'll find everything you need within channels. Okay, so we've got the workspace as you'd like it. We've set up the server. Now we have to figure out how to post within it. So when I'm thinking about this space, I want to talk about how I actually work. I tend to love to drop in PDFs and articles and resources for people, but it's not easy for me to do an attachment into this space from my app. From the browser, yes. From the app, no. I don't know why. If you know why, please let me know. So oftentimes I'm out reading it in a magazine that I enjoy, or I'm reading a newspaper, or I'm reading sources online, or I'm looking at research online. And there's a chance for me, if I find something I like, to hit the share button. And when I hit the share button, I can share it right into Discord. And that's great for me, so I can do it that way. So I'm outside the app, I can attach things in, and that works perfectly for me. So that's the workaround for me, and I want to just show you how that works on the screen. So let's move to the screen. I want this community to set its own guidelines for how they want to interact, and so I need to populate this channel with a couple community guidelines templates that are out on the web. So what I can do is go out on the web and search for something, and when I find something, say like this particular website, then I can either just go up to the top and copy and paste the address, or I have a share button on my screen and it's up in the top right hand corner, so I can just click on that. And then you can see that I have options here to share it, and I'm going to look for Discord. I happen to have Discord up in mine, but if I didn't, I could go over to the three dots on this particular thing and share it there. So when I click on Discord, it offers me this information, so I can share it in, and right now it says example, that's the server I'm in. If I wanted to share it to another server, it would allow me to. And if I want to share to community guidelines, it says, and I can see here if I wanted to share it somewhere else. Those are all the channels that are available right now for me. And yes, I want it in community guidelines, so I can just post it there. So now if I come here, you can see that that sharing option has allowed me to put this in here without a lot of effort. That sharing option is true for Adobe. I've got PDFs I want to load in here. I can go to Adobe and just hit share, and then it will open to a set of apps, and I can choose this app. That's one way to do it. The other way is to copy and paste the addresses in. So that's the process of just dropping some content in. If you just want to write a message, you can do that as well right below it. So once I have this posted, if someone comes in and they like it, all they have to do is just click on the box itself, and you do that by clicking outside where the text is, and then you can do you have these different options. If you go in and look at this from a user's perspective, then you can see which ones of these they don't have that you have, right? And that's what I think makes it vibrant, that you can very quickly move through and comment and talk to people about the things that they're posting. Okay, so now you should be comfortable with your workplace, comfortable with setting up a server, comfortable with moving the categories and channels around, comfortable with posting something to your particular server and into a particular channel. Now we're going to do something about setting the permissions on what the people in the writing community can do while they're in the site. So this is pretty significant because you want people to have a really pleasant experience. You don't want someone to have the permission to, say, delete all the posts in a thread when other people's posts are in that thread. And so people don't intend to do that, but they can do that by accident. And so if you set up the permissions well, those kinds of accidents won't happen often. And so let's go to the screen and see how that works. Now that we have a rudimentary framework for our server space, I want to go up to example and to the three dots and start to articulate the roles for people in the community. So to find that role articulation, you go over to settings, the cog on the right, click on it, and just scroll down until you see roles. So in roles, you can see they give you some suggestions for this: coach, new recruit, alumni, mentee. I don't really need to do all of those roles because then I have to give each of those different roles permissions. I am most likely to be working with a colleague in creating a writing community, and so I might create a role and just call it administrator. But I'm going to go ahead and just set the permissions for everyone and talk about this in a minute. So I'm not going to have a lot of differentiation between people in this group. They're all going to be community participants, and so I'm going to give everyone the same permissions. I have all of the permissions overridden because I'm the administrator, but everyone else gets permissions articulated. So in everyone, I'm going to decide on things that they can do. You can start with a template. In this one, I just kind of want to walk through because it also gives me an idea of what's possible. So Can they view channels? If it's turned to purple, it means that they can. And so if it's over to the right, it means that they can. So yeah, they can view channels. Can they create, edit, or delete channels? No. Now, if I want to override this on a specific category, I can. So I want to put the generic things in place for all of the categories and all of the channels. And then if I want the people in everyone to have special permissions in one category, I can change it in that category. So manage channels, no. Manage roles, no. Manage emojis and stickers, no. View the audit log. So most of these are no's, right? So I can come down to where it says create invite, and I have to say I don't want them creating an invite. And the reason I don't is because I want to do that. And I also, Discord is a huge community. I want to make sure that I'm only bringing in a small group of people to this space. Can they change their nickname? Absolutely. Can they change other people's nicknames and do other things to other members? No. Can they send messages? Absolutely. Can they send messages in threads? Yes. Can they create public threads? Maybe. I need to check in on that. Can they create private threads now? Can they embed links? Yeah, I'm going to let them embed links. Can they attach files? Yes, I'm going to let them attach files. So I kind of go through, add reactions, sure, add external emoji, add external. I'm going to say no for right now. And the reason I'm going to say that is because I don't understand how much data they might be able to drop in from bringing in those external emojis. So I'm probably going to create a set of emojis for us that keeps that data load low, because I have a free account. I don't want to actually spend more money for a lot of content put in here that's very big in its file size and takes up too much memory. So that's why I'm thinking that. Can they mention everyone? Sure. Can they manage the messages? No. Can they manage threads? No. Can they read the message history? I don't know. I'm going to have to look that one up and see. Can they use application commands? I don't think I need that. Can they connect to the voice channels? This is where we're getting into, can they actually have a video conference? Can they speak? Can they talk? Yeah. We want them to be able to do all of those things. I don't need them to be a priority speaker. I don't need them to be able to mute or deafen or move members. And I don't need them in charge of events. Now, down at the bottom, if you are an administrator of a server and you are done with it and you want to give the administration role to someone else, that's where you do this. Okay, so you've got your workplace, you set up your server, you've posted, you've set up the parameters. It's time to invite people. We're going to pretend that we have all of the content in the way we would like it, and we now want to send an invite to people. So again, we go up to example, we go over to the three dots, click on the three dots, and you'll see that there's this invite icon right at the top. So I click on the invite, and it says, do you want to share this, copy link, messages, or Gmail? And obviously messages is for people who've signed up with their phone. Copy link is the one I'm going to use. I'm also going to invite Inpatient Ulster so that I can see what that looks like in that site. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And that's as easy as the invite is. So we've got all five. Now what you want to do is all of the sorts of beautification of your server that you want to do, and then you're ready to send out that invite. In the video I create for writers in my communities, I go over how to take that invite, enter the server, set up a introduction, post it, and make sure they know how to do all of the different spaces of that server. So I'll ask them to send me a direct message. I'll ask them to respond to someone. I'll do all of those sorts of moves to make sure they feel comfortable in that space, and I'll check to make sure that every one of the people in the writing community can do the things that they need to do. Some people will be newbies, and so most of the video is for them. Some people are Discord aficionados, and so I will talk to them about how they might create a second account if they want, and where they can toggle if they want to between their accounts. And so I'm hoping that that video will be helpful to you. Thanks so much for joining. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel, and if you ring the bell, it'll tell you when there's a new video available. Thanks again. See you soon. Ciao.